whole life do? Oh, for I can't help falling in love.
Introduction.
You, oh, like
Introduction.
a river flows
I am shocked.
surely to the sea, and swirling so
Introduction.
goes.
I am shocked.
Things are meant to be. So take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Oh, for I can't help falling in.
That I have to say the things I am about to say. Introduction. I am shocked that I have to say the things I am about to say. To have to earnestly grapple with artificial intelligences that make art is a topic so fantastical, so absurdly science fiction, that I sometimes have difficulty taking it seriously. Unfortunately, I must take it seriously. Our AIs are here, and I have found the lugubrious shadow they are casting on the artistic discourse and the minds of students difficult to ignore. I have structured this essay as a series of counter-arguments to a few of the most common rejoinders around AI art. After that, I plan to lash you to a post and flog you publicly for your lack of resistance. That should, I hope, capture the scope of the absurdity at play here. I want to be clear up front that the coming arguments are not about whether AI art is art or not. I have no problem saying it is art. That just doesn't amount to much within the substance of this argument. It goes without saying that human beings can express themselves with absolutely anything. And so long as there is expression involved, one will probably experience their work as art and feel themselves to be an artist. But the forthcoming arguments aren't about that point. They're about the flawed, unethical, and deceptive environment around AI systems, one that I will argue is poised and promises to take things in a very unartistic direction. It's not hard to imagine an ethical and consent-based generative AI image system, and that only makes it all the more galling that the ones being released now are emphatically not. I also want to say that I, as a person of this world and time, am as morbidly curious as to what these systems can create as anyone else, and I am certain that I will be deeply moved by examples of AI art in the future. However, the interesting possibilities in AI art do not mean that the horrendous oversights and anti-humanist values of its current systems are above reproach. I must admit that I will be engaging in some fortune-telling in this discussion, but considering the subject matter, I think that is inevitable, necessary, and actually desirable. Most of us would have called the current state of these systems a fantastical impossibility just 10 years ago, and they might not have snuck up on us and disarmed us so easily if we had been willing to project a little further into the future. I have heard arguments that try to end this whole discussion before it starts. They mainly take the shape of technical assertions that these text-to-image systems cannot get better based on the nature of their design, and that we are already seeing their finished form. I am not a machine learning expert, programmer, or software engineer, but I must say, I find that hard to believe, given that they have already improved since previous inferior iterations. I want to make very clear, however, that even if you don't extrapolate into the future and contend only with the current state of the art, the way these AIs are being trained, released, used, and marketed right now in the present is already grounds for serious concern. If these AI systems are allowed to propagate unchecked in the way that they have thus far, a dangerous precedent will be set, revealing that visual artists are unwilling to defend themselves and their work against theft and exploitation. And have no doubt, that is what is happening here. In their current state and along their current trajectory, these systems are heavily based on the opportunistic collection and exploitation of large amounts of creative work from huge numbers of people with no consent or compensation, to signal to these companies, including the ones to come, that artists will allow this with little resistance will not bode well for the commercial industries, for fine artists, for hobbyists, everyone. And I am baffled by my friends and peers who are looking into the mouth of the lion and saying it might be hospitable in there after all because they glimpsed some bits of food stuck to the teeth. I am as aware as you are that false certainty about monumental technological events like these doesn't mean much in the whirling maelstrom of history. But we must recognize that kneeling to this brute fact does not always make us wise. Rather, it renders us mute and docile, and that is the last thing we as artists need right now. We must be willing to defend ourselves, each other, and our work, even though these AI companies will try to cast us as whiny and ungrateful. Don't let them control the narrative and lull you into compliance. We should be mad about this. These systems are collecting artists' work and employing it in for-profit commercial ventures, which they often hide behind the smokescreen of their non-profit status, citing the intent of academic research, making them difficult to attack. They depend on visual artists to be docile, and there are examples of them dealing with other industries more inclined to litigation much differently, broadcasting an egregious double standard. Every video, post, or discussion I see from my peers that handles the topic of AI art with sanguine submission turns my stomach, and I feel embarrassed for them. It is infuriating to watch them casually accept what these systems are doing, especially when they've been unarmed by these same deceptions in so many other areas. We all deride the same anti-humanist values when exhibited by social media, the labor field, and on and on. How many times must we fail to learn this lesson? Is there nothing we will not relinquish? Whatever you see your friends doing, whatever you hear from the desperate and the scared, do not join them in their bovine acquiescence. The giant companies designing and releasing these systems are manipulating the narrative, and they are depending on our ritual suicide. As has happened in so many other arenas, they are going to let you fight their war for them and have us snapping at each other for picked over bones like hyenas. They are going to make you comfortable with artistic cannibalism on a scale unheard of before now. But this is not the time for artists to divide. We must have honest discussions with each other, defend each other, and put this information out into the artistic sphere. Argument. The AI just collects references from the internet the same way artists do. There are many bad assumptions nested in this argument that I want to return to later. I chose to open with this one because it allows me to explain the datasets being used to train these systems. You may have heard of several text-to-image AI tools by now in the art community and on the news. Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, Imagen, just to name a few. But you may not have heard of their respective datasets, which are separate products that are sometimes proprietary and other times shared between different text-to-image systems. Let's use a very popular one as our example, Lion, one of the dataset collections that was used to train the current versions of Stable Diffusion and Google's Imagen. One of their offerings, Lion 5B, is a collection of 5 billion image URLs and descriptive text that point to and describe images all over the internet. When a model like Stable Diffusion is trained to do its job, an expensive and resource-hungry process when using such a large dataset, it runs through a particular mathematical process that solidifies a connection between image and text. The details of Stable Diffusion's technical process, or any other model's process, are not what we want to get caught up on. As new methods will be developed, new companies will emerge, and the technology will change. What's key to note here is that the input images are what define the model's potential. The performance of the model would not be possible without all of the data fed into it, much of it copyrighted. And once a model is trained on a set of images, you cannot easily make changes to it. If you want to modify the dataset and update the model, you must retrain the model from scratch on the entire modified dataset, at least with the current most common techniques. Here's the thing about that glut of images that make up the dataset. There's anything and everything in there. Your art might be in there, pictures of your face might be in there, private medical imagery has been found in there. That's because the images are located and cataloged indiscriminately, and the sheer number of them makes the collection as a whole a labyrinthine mess to navigate and understand. Huge amounts of it are copyrighted images that, to be clear, you certainly wouldn't be able to copy and paste onto even your personal blog without incurring some legal risk. So, how is it that they can include them in these models? It's all about the organizations. Lion 5B is disseminated by Lion, a German nonprofit, while the images themselves are trawled by another nonprofit called Common Crawl. Depending on where they're located, these companies, being organized as nonprofits functioning for research purposes, are afforded privileged legal exemptions and won't be found guilty of collecting and using otherwise copyrighted data. The issue is that these datasets collected under these exemptions are now funneling into for-profit commercial ventures like Stable Diffusion. And wouldn't you know who funded a large part of Lion's processing power to create this dataset? That's right, Stability AI, the makers of Stable Diffusion. Lion is actually listed right there next to the other products in their suite on their website. So this supposedly for research, nonprofit, legally privileged dataset is being used by a for-profit company that's currently going for $1 billion valuation in their flagship product. This seems to be a direct violation of the spirit of these research privileges. This is quickly becoming common practice in AI, with protective, complex shells of for-profit and non-profit companies, making it difficult to pinpoint where any wrongdoing occurred. The goal here is avoiding accountability and legal liability through tricky data laundering that they will argue is legal, but we can all plainly see is not just. Another example of this evasive accountability model is the developer of the text-to-image AI DALL-E, named OpenAI, which consists of the for-profit corporation OpenAI LP and its parent company, the nonprofit OpenAI Inc. Does all that sound confusing? That makes sense because it is, and they invented all of it. Let me read you what they wrote about it on their company blog. Quote, "We want to increase our ability to raise capital while still serving our mission, and no pre-existing legal structure we know of strikes the right balance. Our solution is to create OpenAI LP as a hybrid of a for-profit and a non-profit, which we are calling a capped profit company." End quote. Isn't that a shame that no other pre-existing legal structure works for them? Poor guys. At least they were brave enough to invent their own legal framework that lets them make as much money as possible while also claiming tax incentives, legal privileges, and the cloud cover of a nonprofit collecting assets for research purposes. And they were nice enough to name it too, so that if any other company is interested in reproducing this insanity, they can point at a precedent with authority. If you want a good bitter laugh, I'd encourage you to look up the caps they decided on for their capped profit company. These sleights of hand are the kind of thing I want to bring attention to. The problem is that they are being buried by the people who have everything to gain from these systems. These very practical concerns about AI are being drowned out by incongruent arguments about technological prudishness and the nature of art and progress. So many of these arguments are without substance. They merely extol the virtues of being open-minded about a techno-utopian future, rather than address the ethical and legal implications therein, and they buck at the sane reins we would want on these systems. Also note that some of the AIs, like Midjourney as of writing, haven't released any info about the datasets they were trained on. They're complete black boxes to us, and I expect more companies to try that route once they see how vexing their datasets are to an informed public. So, no, the AIs do not collect references off the internet the same way that artists do, and they are using them in ways that you as a normal person would not be allowed to. You would not be afforded the legal privileges of a research nonprofit when it comes to collecting and utilizing copyrighted works without consent, much less when putting that towards a for-profit end. Little old you would, of course, be swiftly and summarily penalized for any infraction of the sort. Argument: AI is just a new tool. This argument is born from a lack of imagination. As an artist, you should, of course, be embarrassed by that. AI art programs may be a tool right now in their earliest state, but to think they will continue this way requires a willful ignorance about the tool you're using and the environment around it. They are not meant to be tools for artists. They are replacements for artists, and they are advertising themselves as such. Just read the language they are using to sell it to you. Here are some quotes from Stable Diffusion's release for researchers. Quote, "Stable Diffusion is a text-to-image model that will empower billions of people to create stunning art within seconds." End quote. And here's another one. Quote, "You can see some of the amazing output that has been created by this model without pre or post processing on this page." Notice the language. They do not want a future where you need to touch these images after they've been generated. They have no interest in leaving any task for an artist to do. They want you completely out of the picture, even though your art trained the AI. And you should do a Control F search on the page I pulled those quotes from for the word artist. 0 results. They want to sell the promise that someone with no experience can make the same image on day one that someone with years of experience can make. Based on their business model, the less need there is for an artist's intervention, the more successful and appealing their product is. Whether or not they actually achieve this goal of producing an AI that needs no artistic intervention is almost irrelevant, because they will advertise that they have achieved that goal so broadly that it will utterly transform the optics around art for the world at large. They'll invest millions to advertise to the common person that stunning images, videos, whatever, are made at the press of a button. That said, I believe they probably will achieve that goal. Much of what is possible with these systems in their earliest releases already surpasses good enough. You will not be touching up these images, improving them, or compositing over them for long. And be wary of those at these companies who will say these are tools for artists only when confronted by artists, while they ceaselessly market it to everybody else as a way to easily and immediately generate incredible art with minimal fuss. The usual retort here is that even if these images need no fixing, someone must always do the prompting or selection of desirable outputs. If your imagination failed you before, and it's doing it again, you should be doubly ashamed. The future of these AIs does not involve humans sitting around typing prompts into them. The dream of getting a job as an AI soothsayer, who through loving cajoling pulls the most beautiful image out of the machine, is short-sighted. The AIs are just as good at generating strings of text as they are at generating images. In your rush to prompt, you failed to notice that you were training the next part of the AI. The one that knows the combined taste of millions of the most tasteful people in the world. This is clearly signaled by programs like Midjourney, which permanently and publicly archives every single piece it generates, including the prompts used. When you prompt, you are shouting your inner heart into a new dataset for the AIs. Once that dataset reaches critical mass, they won't need you to tell the AI what to make. These systems, perhaps many countless instances of them, will run on autopilot. They will simply iterate on what they have learned people are interested in seeing, combine it with real-time analyses of the internet and other systems, and begin an explosive outpouring of media that will never end, completely transforming the art market. The sheer volume of output will allow the AIs and their handlers to manipulate the market, flooding feeds with images when they want something to disappear and easing off when they want something to get attention. We would be lucky if this only affected the commercial art market, but the wholesale devaluation and silencing of art will likely affect every sector: commercial, hobbyist, fine art, everything. I think of this supernova of mediocre inhuman emission as the mega feed, the ad absurdum version of the comparably weak feeds we are familiar with today. It will turn out then that it was you who was just a tool. You were used to teach the AI which of its creations is the best, as you do every time you click on your preferred result amongst its many grotesque offerings. You teach it the keywords and buzzwords relating to styles and rendering criteria that are of the broadest interest, and every time you return to it with a novel idea, it will, of course, note your originality, pat you on the head, and then turn its baleful machinations to distilling and infinitely redistributing whatever creative seed was in there. This counterargument is also my answer to the accusation that I and others like me are Luddites, who are simply afraid of new technologies when we should be embracing them as tools. It's ridiculous to call someone like me a Luddite, and I have never resisted tools. I have spent my whole career joyfully trying out every new true tool that shows up. I began making digital art in MS Paint before I was 10. I made my first 3D renders in Bryce 3D at 11. I've been using Photoshop since I was 13. I made my first 3D animations in Maya at 15. I've learned Modo, ZBrush, SketchUp, Blender, and other 3D programs I can't even remember. I have a 3D printer. I bought a VR headset to sculpt in virtual reality. I stream art on YouTube and run an online business, for God's sake. I don't use any of these tools begrudgingly. It has been a joy to learn them and play with them. I only want more of these things, not less. And I know many of the artists who are resisting the AIs like me are voracious lovers of advancement and new ways to create. No, I'm not a Luddite, and I'm not afraid of new tools. I can just tell what is a tool and what is a replacement. If you had been a worker on an automobile assembly line, you would have been wrong to call every new wrench, drill, and rivet gun they put in your hand a replacement. But on the day the grate rolled up and they pushed a robotic arm onto the factory floor, you would have been right to call it a replacement. Some things are tools and some things are replacements, and simply shouting "tool" over and over again won't change the nature of the thing. Argument. Artists will just need to focus on telling stories through video games, animations, and comics. I have already mentioned the biggest problem with this argument. The AIs will be very capable of running on autopilot, and they will get just as good at telling stories as they are at making images and videos. They will produce novels, essays, and scripts in amounts that can fill the Library of Babel, each piece a composite of half quotations and unattributed swipings. All this auto-generated text can be processed by the image and video AIs to generate long-format media, and the cycle will be complete, self-contained, and human-free. Companies will leap on this system, of course, since it's predictable, consistent, and lacking the hard-to-maintain wetware and mercurial moods of the human artist. They will produce an endless stream of every imaginable film, TV show, game, news story, and image, as well as every imaginable permutation on each instance of these. This will completely flood the realm of story, and the future will find itself overwhelmingly ghost-ridden. The anime that you've been dreaming of making since you were 8, which you are willing to forsake all of art to produce, will get the attention it deserves in this environment. None. And when your dream project, regurgitated in moments by an AI, receives no attention, no clout, and no money, you will rest well knowing you earned it. Not even your mother will be able to find it in the unending surge of the megafeed. This wouldn't be a problem on its own, you were otherwise never going to make the thing anyway, except that you will be ruining the art market for everyone who is positioned to pull something off by their own efforts. You will gain nothing and hurt your friends and peers. The idea that everyone will be empowered to tell their story is one of the few arguments for AI art that compels me. There's a nuanced discussion to be had there, but I believe it is ultimately bankrupt. It is a nice sentiment, and I can empathize with the frustrations of being an artist who feels their skills do not measure up to the scope of their vision. But we're overlooking something very important here. You don't just want to tell your story, and you don't just want to tell it well, you want it to matter that you told your story. The AIs will rob you and everyone else of this. The execution of your petulant vision by the AIs will ensure that no one cares about your story, and that it is washed away in the heaving sea of AI dross. Your art already doesn't get attention. It's not going to get any more attention when it's competing with the unending stream of self-generated and highly targeted comics, novels, images, films, games, and songs. As I've said, these AIs will not need to be prompted by humans for very long, and will instead auto-respond to the ebb and flow of the internet, current news, real-time sales, and even private conversations. After all, we have already readied these inputs for them. We all feel a little uncomfortable when our phone shows us an ad for something we mentioned to our friend over dinner. But what happens when it shows you a movie it made just for you about your breakup? A song about that careless word from your mother? A finished version of the comic idea you started researching? you'll start getting notifications saying, hey, check out 1,000 finished versions of your dream. Our ambient digital systems already have intimate access to so many of the inputs that define our taste. In some sense, we sold our souls long ago. So, you may be able to tell your story, but at the cost of its complete irrelevancy, which will likely have the effect of making you resent that you ever had the idea in the first place. Stories don't achieve their incredible effect simply by existing. They live and die on human connection and intellect. AI will not democratize art. That's just one of the copy-pasted platitudes of those vapid marketing execs spoon-feeding you your own doom. In a democracy, your voice matters. In a world flooded by AI media, your voice has no chance of being heard. I also want to point out here that the people making these things will depend on you thinking they hold the silver key to your artistic vision. They need you to feel worthless and like you missed your chance to tell your story, that you got too old or don't have the time or resources or ability or what have you. That way, you will need their product. This way, you will support them monetarily, and, most importantly, you will help them change the laws and sway the culture to allow their rapacious strip mining of all creative labor. They will always be incentivized to make you feel lowly, dependent, incapable, and slave to their kaiju whims. And when they're done, they'll pull the rug out from under you, of course. They have no actual reason to let you have this stuff for free. They don't care about you. They can say they do, but that means nothing. Once they've made it impossible for you to make a living as an artist, and you've helped them change the laws, and they've ostracized you from your peers by turning you against them, they'll just take it away and sell it to Google and Facebook and YouTube and all the rest, because they stand to make billions from them and nothing from you. You gave it all away for free, you fools. Argument. These companies cannot manipulate our access to these systems because of open source projects like Stable Diffusion. I can run it offline on my personal computer. Let's say upfront that Stable Diffusion and Stability AI are not the permanent body of the discussion here. And indeed, these names may be completely unfamiliar to people listening to this even in the near future. Many AI companies will rise and fall, and some will be open source, and others will be highly guarded. There will be a huge variety of business models, release models, subscription models, and retraining models associated with the huge number of AI projects that are about to hit the scene. Just because the source code is out for the current version of Stable Diffusion does not mean that Stability AI and other like-minded companies won't change their tactics in the future. I also want to point out that the version of Stable Diffusion you can presently download and run offline is limited to its current dataset. You might have some control over its parameters, but it would be cost and time intensive to retrain the model on an updated dataset, as I explained earlier. It took a lot of power and graphics cards to train the current version of Stable Diffusion. And if you want to stay current with these technologies, you will either need to dedicate tremendous resources to retraining or otherwise surrender to these companies, which is, of course, what they want. Also, it seems very naive to trust that a for-profit company like Stability AI, gunning after a $1 billion valuation, likely seeking to elect moneyed investors to their board of directors with a hedge fund manager as CEO, is somehow incentivized to give you your favorite toy for free indefinitely. And suppose they do continue to offer free versions. They'll end up like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., replete with the bad incentives and world-distorting effects that we've seen from those models. Argument. Don't people do the same thing with references as the AIs do? Now we return to a deeper analysis of the bad assumptions built into the first argument we addressed in this video. To clarify, This argument concerns the practice of using references and the art of others to make or inspire an image. This argument is confused at its core. First, suppose the answer is yes. The way an AI uses references is analogous to how people use references. This begs the question as to why you would afford the privileges of this endeavor to unfeeling machines instead of human beings. This is art making, for God's sake, not some agitating manual process that people hate. This is one of the things people enjoy doing. Anyone with a humanistic outlook will see that because the intent and desired outcome are the same, we should reserve art making for those who stand to gain something from it, for whom it can bring joy and reward, rather than dumbly bestow it on an unfeeling non-being that cannot enjoy the fruits of its labor. Second, no. People do not do the same thing with references as machines do. The difference is that machines can replicate references exactly. Sure, human artists look at references, collect them, combine them, transform them, and indeed sometimes do their best to outright copy them, but in the vast majority of cases, they cannot replicate these references exactly. You can look at as many Michelangelo drawings as you'd like. You can hang 100 of them up all around your drawing board. You will still fail to draw like him. You could not trace a Michelangelo well enough to create confusion about which is the original. And if you could, it is almost guaranteed that you are an accomplished draftsperson in your own right by the sweat of your brow. The AIs do not have the same balancing constraints. The AI can perfectly achieve, through digital reproduction, memorization, and overfitting, any effect it is sufficiently trained on. So while a human's most vehement efforts to recreate the best parts of another's work might result in acceptable deficiencies and pleasant surprises, the AI can achieve perfect theft en masse. A human is also ennobled by their attempts to replicate and copy, at least when doing it through hand skills, rather than copy-pasting parts of an artwork digitally. Because of the mechanics of manual execution, a person will improve as an artist by making multiple attempts at copying. Executing an adequate copy of a masterwork is completely outside the ability of a beginner and ironically demands some honest skill. In a very real sense, and it may be hard to understand this if you haven't been grappling with improving your craft for a very long time, if you can manage to copy a Vermeer well, you earned it. Argument. The AI can never replace the soul of an artist. It will never be able to produce unique ideas the way a person can. This argument is really more of an argument for ignoring rather than accepting AIs, but it comes up often enough that I think it's worth addressing here. When we think of the artist's vision in this way, we elevate it to a strange position. This argument seems to assume that our ideas are like divine manifestations, unadulterated and born of happenstance. In reality, our ideas are complex reactions, both conscious and subconscious, to the innumerable conditioning factors that shape our lives. Remember, the AIs will eventually be reacting to many of the same inputs as us. They will always be taking the pulse of the internet's real-time performance, of keywords and buzzwords and trending topics. And they will be assessing all of those things simultaneously on the big data level and the targeted individual level. Your particular interests, habits, preferences, and even mental state and physical health. We already provide this information to companies in impressive detail. The AIs will intimately know you, and that will include your artistic vision. Even if most of its offerings are bland, mediocre, or unintelligible, the numbers are on their side, not ours. The sheer volume of its offerings will ensure that tucked in there, somewhere, is something you can't help but be attracted to, something you might have thought up yourself if you were afforded the same privileges as the AI. And if the current quality of AI output is any indication, less of it might be mediocre than one would hope. Scrolling through the mountain of unedited outputs of the current AI offerings can be at times unsettling and confusing, but even I find myself stopping to wonder at some of them. Again, this speaks volumes considering that these systems are in their infancy. The dance diffusion problem. There is an egregious double standard pertaining to how these systems handle visual art versus other creative industries. Take the glaring example of dance diffusion, the upcoming AI music tool coming from a team within Stability AI, the makers of text-to-image model Stable Diffusion. Let me read to you from an article describing how dance diffusion is trained. Quote, "Dance diffusion is also built on datasets composed entirely of copyright-free and voluntarily provided music and audio samples. Because diffusion models are prone to memorization and overfitting, releasing a model trained on copyrighted data could potentially result in legal issues. In honoring the intellectual property of artists while also complying to the best of their ability with the often strict copyright standards of the music industry, keeping any kind of copyrighted material out of the training data was a must." End quote. If you think you couldn't have heard what you just heard, go back and listen again. The fact that such a baffling double standard exists within the product suite of a single AI company makes it hard to imagine any explanation other than bad faith towards visual artists and the callous belief that it's okay to trample them in particular because they are less inclined towards self-defense and litigation than other industries, i.e. music. I want you to imagine swapping the word music in that paragraph with the word art instead. Would that really be so crazy? Does that suggest that I am a fearful Luddite who is simply resisting change? I don't think so. I think most sane people would see that honoring the intellectual property of artists is a logical thing to extend to visual artists, not just musicians. Next, I want you to imagine that we're in the past, let's say 10 years in the past, and the text-to-image generators have not yet hit the scene. What if you learned that someone was planning to make one of these systems? Let's assume you took them seriously, and they vowed to abide by the judicious guidelines we just read. It's going to be made with copyright-free and voluntarily provided art pieces. I imagine you would think that was the most utterly sane and logical way to make and release one of these systems, wouldn't you? Now imagine that after hearing this, someone floats the idea of instead making one by trawling the internet for billions of images and vacuuming up millions of pieces of hard-made art with no consent, no compensation, and no way to remove this work from the model once trained on it. Don't you think that plan would seem clearly insane and unethical from your lucky position on the timeline? That is to say, before the release of such an aberrant program. The fact that we are living in a reality where someone did make the latter without receiving any permissions or offering any compensation to those generating the art on which the system is trained, and then rush to release it before anyone could catch up with their misdeeds, doesn't mean it's any less unethical or plainly crazy. I think many of the naive assumptions about AI can be revealed if we only imagine how we would have hoped these systems would be handled in a reality where we took their potential seriously before they were made and released. Unfortunately, we took no action because most people didn't think they could get even as good as they currently are. And if they did, most didn't think they could do it so quickly. But having already been duped does not mean we must continue to dumbly concede to these fledgling AIs. We will set a very dangerous precedent by not disputing and dismantling these unjust systems. New AIs will be arising rapidly, and the multiplying villainies of their nature will swarm upon us. We don't want the people making these to think they can get away with infringing on the rights of artists, and that we will not scrutinize the systems, inspect their business models, and generally be willing to stand up for ourselves. Conclusion. These AI systems are going to continue to challenge us, not just in the realm of art, but in all walks of life. They will make their presence known in both digital and physical space, and they will appropriate all types of creative and mundane work typically relegated to humans. Wherever they show up, and whatever work they undertake, before you just roll over and relinquish all of life's efforts to the AI, ask yourself, am I forfeiting work I like doing? Is life really so packed with surplus joy that we should be letting machines automate something we take pleasure in? Do we really have a good reason to let them commandeer a job or hobby that is aspirational and fun rather than rote and miserable? Or are we just inventing reasons to let them do it because we don't want to take on the burden of defending ourselves, something that artists generally shy away from? We must not permit AI developers, with all their underhanded techniques, to undermine us until we are ultimately supplanted. We must fight back. Otherwise, we set a dangerous precedent for all AI systems to come. The people who are heavily incentivized to protect the public perception of these systems will accuse us of being Luddites, of being unadaptable, and of catastrophizing the consequences of their misconduct. But don't let them lull you to sleep with this inane chorus. Remember, always, that they're not artists, and it's not their work in the dataset. They want to control the emotional environment around this whole thing, casting you as shrill and complaining, and themselves as calm, intelligent, and progressive. They want you to accept, without question, that anything and everything you make and share will automatically get fed into their lucrative product. At the time of writing this, there is no way to secede from these systems, even though some are promising to add opt-out features in the future. While writing this video, Stable Diffusion indicated that it is responding to criticism and internally developing a tool that will allow artists to opt out of training. This sounds like a step in the right direction, but I want to note a few things. 1. The criticism was necessary for them to make the change. 2. There is no reason to trust that the next company that comes along with a similar training and release model will allow opting out. And 3. The version of Stable Diffusion that has already been released as open source will forever be out there and trained on this non-consenting and sprawling dataset. If you opt out, you will be opting out of future models of Stable Diffusion, not ones already released. And I imagine most people won't even be inclined to opt out until they discover that they're already included in a model. At that point, if the release is open source, it's too late for you. For that to make a difference, you must, of course, know that feature exists and how to use it. Moreover, you must know to do it for every data collection product out there. Only the savviest will revoke their work, and the rest will be preyed on. These companies will offer opt-out options in the hope you won't realize that they should have been opt-in in the first place. As I said in the beginning of this essay, it's not hard to imagine a fair and equitable text-to-image generator, which makes their chosen path seem, in the most charitable interpretation, thoughtless. If you wanted to build an ethical one, you would build it on a foundation of public domain and Creative Commons images, embellish it with images your company produces internally, commission artists to create training images for you, or compensate artists who opt in to have their images added to the dataset. Maybe even give them a royalty every time their image or name is used to produce a result. I don't see anything wrong with a model like that, and I imagine it would still be fascinating and effective, but still have some utterly sane constraints that would leave much art to be made by hardworking human beings. I also think you'd have a huge amount of artists happily opt in to adding their images to the project. We're artists. We love new, strange, and wonderful things. As much as these AI companies seem to want to lump us in with the prudish bores of the past, it's a bit of a stretch considering our demographic. Most of us use and love tech, have a long list of nerd credentials, are constantly trying new things, experimenting, and getting excited about the weird turnings of the world. I think if someone made a consent-based model like this, even I would throw my images into it. But for now, please, let's stop with the go fever and think this through. Let's end this wholesale theft of our creative labor. I'll leave links in the description to associations trying to organize around these issues, sources, and informational videos on the current state-of-the-art systems. I highly encourage you to do more research into how these systems work and how the companies that are making them are controlling the narrative. Thank you.
Making sure that I'm okay and we're a million miles away. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, maybe kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true.
Yes,
In
Mama.
other words, I stay. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you. I've got my ticket for the long way round, 2 bottle whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair, you're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I've got my ticket for the long way round, the one with the prettiest of views. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights to give you shivers, but it sure would be prettier with you. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me me by my dog. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone. When I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone. When I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my dog. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum. Na na. 痛いに感じる澄んだ空気吐く息が弾む止まることもなく歩き続けていたのここで振り返るもうすぐだよ朝日が昇る私は旅する新しい日に自由を吸い込んだら暖かい日を囲んで座ろうたわいもないこと話しながら鼻先に触れる木々の香り時間も忘れていつもの生活やることがたくさん it, baby. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass. 7 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Ring out the bells again, like we did when spring began. Wake me up when September ends. Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass. 20 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends. Wake me up when September ends. Wake me up when September ends.
Don't worry. It's just me. It's just me getting scared by my own readings. Don't feel sorry about it. Don't feel sorry about it. It's just that I guess like I didn't expect it to happen. So and my brain is just so like focused on something. So then I get easily so caught off guard. So don't worry. 大丈夫です。I heard the miniatures are very pricey. I'm not so sure how much it costs over here. I should have asked her how much it costs. It looks like very good. It definitely does look like something that takes like super, you know, like really detailed precision. Cause like the brushes they were using are like really thin, like are really thin brushes, and they were like so focused. I really enjoy seeing people doing that. Omnitan, Omnitan, yaho! How you doing, Omnitan? How's your spooky October been? Can I give Omnitan a shout out? Yes, everyone, check out Omnitan. And also, if you do not know, Omnitan is having a Halloween party. So you could check out in Omnitan's channel and just redeem, and then he will do like a quick sketch along with other people as well in the art. It's so adorable, and thank you so much again, Omnitan, for doing it. It's so cute. Is that?
Hello, motherfucker.
Resting well. That they are, but luckily for me, I totally don't have a 3D printer, which I totally would not use for miniatures even if I did have one cough. Yeah, imagine if you have a 3D printer, there's so many things you could do with it. God bless you somehow so many times over. Thank you for the blessing. Only redeem ASMR mode. Oh yeah, okay, go ahead. Thank you for letting me know that. Alright, okay, good. I need to hydrate a bit more. Thank you for letting me know the reason. For the record, I do buy kits. I just use the printers to fill in gaps and use spare original parts in the kit that would otherwise go to waste. Nice! Making use of things. And hello, Mooncries! Thank you for the care package and a hip pet though. Alright, let me hydrate more. 1, 2, 3, 4 stretcher! Hello, Shin-sama. I hope you have a good day today. Wanted to pop by and say hello, but I think I'm gonna lurk for a bit. Yeah, much love. Thank you so much, Mooncries. Thank you so much for popping by. And yes, have a good lurk. And thank you for the care package and a hip pet though again. Shin-sama is the only person that ever called me Tori or Torian-san. Would you prefer that? Alright, Omnitan, yes. For legal purposes, of course. Monkaku Saksan. Alright, ASMR bird. I guess for better ASMR, I'm just gonna stop the BGM. Right, let me just bring this closer a bit. It's been a while since I actually done an ASMR actually. Yes, thank you so much for that. And oh, yo, hello again. Well, I guess we're gonna get Nya ASMR time. So before that, let's give a shout out to the one and only Ikis. How you doing, Ikis? How do you count? Let me just set out the timer first, okay? It's not gonna start yet, but let me just start the timer. And After this shout out, then yes. 어머? It's A1. We have Nick and Cal. Oh no. This is ruining the ASMR. No, no, no. Don't worry, don't worry. The air be sounding like strong wind in my ear. But yes, I want to check out Iggy's. Plays a variety of game. So Cal plays a lot of pew pew games. Actually, Nick also plays a lot of pew pew like Valorant as well. Yeah. They play a lot of comfy games as well. So yeah, we're gonna start ASMR.
You're just too good to be
as well.
true.
I'm not so sure how I could
Can't
do
take
this,
my
but I'm gonna try doing
eyes
this.
off of you. You'd be like heaven.
Game workshops are pretty stringent about what they do and don't like people doing. I don't want to get hunted down by the devils or something, so yes, don't get hunted down. So yeah, we're gonna yeah with this everyone. So welcome into the ASMR stream. Right, so actually, if we want to make it more ASMR, I think this is fine, right? How's it sounding so far, yeah? Yeah. やってしょうか? Thank you for so free fun. Feeling my cocoa right now.
And if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love
Actually, I need to like. Wait, let me hear if it's like alright. Actually. Okay, you're pretty so sexy. Okay, you're right, pretty. Okay, that means the ASMR is okay. Maybe to make it more immersive, let me try to like put up some stuff. Let's see. Reading sound. Let's see. 일단 yeah. I do remember the yeah as well. I forgot the yeah.
I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God
So
I'm
yeah.
alive. You're
So
just too
a
good
little
to
bit of
be
rain
true.
to accompany
Can't take my eyes
the
off of you.
ASMR for a bit.
I need you,
A
baby.
little bit of rainy time.
And if it's quite alright, I need you, baby.
Alright, so
For the
I have
lonely
no idea
nights, I love you,
where to
baby.
find the runes actually. Maybe it's like
Trust
at the bottom or something,
me
yeah.
when I say,
미나냐?
oh,
야갱이?
pretty baby, don't let
다시
me down
되실까?
now,
미나?
pray, oh, pretty baby. Now that I've found
Where
you,
did she go?
stay
Actually, I
and
have
let
no
me
idea.
love you, baby. Let
또
me love.
미나, I'm lost, yeah. Okay, I need to continue speaking. 했더니야. 야니뉴니뇨. I'm pretty sure we are all doing well after this ASMR really. I really hope so. I hope that you'll be able to have like a comfy sleep for those, at GMT plus 8 or plus 7. For those who are studying on your day, I hope this brings a lot of relaxation and energy as well. I need to continue to make Iggy's reading more. Boing. 야따. Okay. Excuse me, butterflies. I hope it's good butterflies. God bless Iggy's too, yes. And that is why you should go check Iggy's out as well. Blessing of those my people be upon you all. Thank you for gracing us. We all your blessing the great village. Thank you for the soul for you again. appreciate your patronage over here. Thank you for the boobies order. Alright, that did not take me off guard. Want to do the soul offering? 다이저브. 아니다. Thank you for the soul offering. 야쇼. 야쇼. What did I want to say? Regret? Oh, there it is. I'm in a mushroom land. Abaku, thank you so much for the lurk. Thank you so much for popping by. I really appreciate it. And hi. 5 minutes is up. 5 minutes is up and ASMR is done. I will continue to extend the nya because I felt like I didn't nya as much. So I'm gonna just, you know, nya more. Yeah. Hello, Babu-san. Good evening. Omo? Ara?
Screen share? Do I need to do screen share? What's this? We got. Want to watch it in stream with everyone. I look so smart in here. Look at me. Damn, I'm smart. Fix the Twitch to avatar on it. What happened? Arigato. Looking a member in your Discord. But if some of people not in my Discord, I mean like my followers. What is there any other? Is there any other way? I'm kinda desperate, to be honest. Smart users, yeah. Users are very smart. Well, even though I don't have brain, yes, I'm smart. Nerd, but I'm cute, right? Nerd is cute. It's not something. It's not the something, yeah. Look, how is this the nerd app? How comes I can be nerd when I don't like reading? I'm not a Harry Potter. I'm Yuzuki Scarlet. Watch stuff without copyright. Lock behind Amazon. I don't really see what Miko doing. Oh, let me take a look. Don't tell me that I have to pay. I'm fucking broke now.
this for? Yeah. Wingardium Leviosa. Put timer? What's the meaning of put timer? Hey, hi! You need to have time. How much is that? Wait, let me try. Do I have Amazon though? I don't know.
Ah, that sweet unarchived karaoke sound.
Do I have it?
Love it.
Oh. I have Amazon?
Yes.
I have Amazon? I have Amazon? Since when do I have Amazon? You guys can't see it, right?
Don't worry.
Wait.
愛に傷ついたあの日からずっと色と夜が逆の暮らしを続けて流行りのディスコで
Didn't hear anything, right?
踊り明かすうちに覚えた魔術なのよ I'm sorry
Okay.
私のことを決して本気で愛さないで恋なんてただのゲーム楽しめばそれでいいの閉ざした心を飾る派手なドレスも靴も孤独な友
What do I need to
達
do now?
Shake all the nerves out.
But there is
Shake out
time
the
to
nerves,
there.
Buddha. Shake them out, Buddha. Ah, blah, 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 blah.
Guys, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Fine.
Wait, what? Many men that are fishing and begging speak of love, but they're still second guessing. Hollow vows from promises broken. Every face and voice brings memories of you. Glassy eyes setting cheers of my sorrow, hoping they will forget by tomorrow. Praying no one's asking for the reason.
I didn't know.
夜更けの高速で眠りに
So there is
つく
one
頃
of the
ハロゲンライトだけ
hat.
怪しく輝く氷のように冷たい女だとささやく
Oh, you guys
声
get
が
me now! But what do I need to do? I
Don't
need to
worry.
Stop it!
Are you ready? I'm just playing games. I know
much alone? Huh? What you gotta do? Oh, there's balls now! Balls!
This is a story I hate. I'm telling it might make me break, but I'll tell it anyway.
Or we can just move to
This
this one.
chapter's about how you said there was nobody else. Then you got up and went to her
What the fuck?
house.
What's wrong?
You
What did
guys
you
always left me out.
give me a link video you want
I still have the letter you wrote when you told me that I was the only girl you'd ever want in your life.
and how do you do
I
it?
guess my friends were right. Each day goes by and each night I cry. Somebody saw you with her last night. You gave me your
Papa is
word, don't
playing
worry
Destiny.
about her.
my radiant beam in the night.
It's alright.
I don't need no light to see
What's the show again?
shine.
I forgot what the show.
It's your
Oh, Prima.
Tidak.
Prima.
Kawin tak ajak? Ah, apa kawin?
Huh?
Apa nak kawin ni?
I'm married to all my friends.
we were just two lovers. Feet up on the dash, driving nowhere fast, burning through the summer. Radio on blast, make the moment last. She got solar power.
How did
If you
Minutes feel like hours. She knew
not
she was the baddest. Can you even
confident
imagine falling like I
you
did? For
you
the
can just give on this first word, you put the sentence, and you can
she's
so
got
people
glow
can
on her
understand.
face, a glorious look in her eyes. My angel of light.
Bazara?
I was all alone with the love of my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light
That means sometimes let me man.
to shine.
Bazara?
It's your
Don't tell me that she went to get milk.
Please, get me
Dasar istri. Okay, coming back. But how do we put the timer in their stream?
You can just use Google Timer or something.
What?
Google Timer. Just get it. Google. Timer to stopwatch.
Huh? What?
Mm-mm. Timer ke stopwatch? Timer. Stopwatch. Bukan timer. Timer nak buat apa?
Apa?
Timer macam nak set alarm.
And then?
And then when you play, you also press start. Faham ke tak?
Zawardo. Tokiwa tomare. Can I get a fancy timer?
Fancy timer can. Let me Google for you.
How's this
A fancy time?
That's
I'm
life.
legit. I think I have
That's
it.
what all the people
Probably.
say.
Do I have
Riding high in April. Woo!
That's
Shut
the
down in
part when
May.
you start the
But I
movie.
know
Yeah.
I am gonna change that too.
So I'm gonna put Prima
When I'm
outfit
back
for
on
that.
top,
Right.
back on
Is it-
top in
is it like that?
June. I
wonder
say that's
Really?
life. And as
very long time to
funny
stop.
as it may seem,
The movie. It's always
some
like-
people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. Oh
I think
no,
I have it.
cause this final world keeps spinning around. I've been a pirate, a pauper, a poet, a puppet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing. Each time I find myself
I don't have to show.
flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race.
I think
That's
I have
life.
this.
I tell you, I can't deny it.
Right.
I've thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna
There's no
bite.
timer.
And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big old bird and then I'd
Get it.
fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know a thing or two. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. And I wish I could deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, baby, but my heart just said not gonna buy it. But if there's nothing come this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die. We broke up a month ago. Your friends are mine.
Kalau nak senang kan, you can just go Google stopwatch. After that, you just crop the thing into the timer
who
for
brings
the
out
stopwatch.
the better in you. And I thought
Yeah,
my
you can
heart
see the bubble.
was detached from all the sunlight of our past. But
This
she's
one, right?
so sweet.
Yeah, okay. That means you have another
Does she
window
mean
capture
you
to
forgot
capture
about
this
me?
time
I hope
for the
you're
stopwatch.
happy, but not like how you were with me. I'm selfish, I know. I can't let you go. So find someone great, but don't find no one better. I hope you're happy, but don't be happier. And do you tell her she's the most beautiful girl you've
Oh my
ever
god, that is
seen?
big!
An eternal love bullshit you know you'll never mean. Remember when I believed you meant it when you
The
said
guy like
it
use
first to
cut.
me. And now I'm picking her apart, like cutting her
Yes, I have a
down
big
to
heart.
make you miss my wretched
Yeah.
heart. But
And a
she's
big
beautiful, she
big
looks
heart.
kind. She probably gives you butterflies. I hope you're happy, but not like how you were with me. I'm selfish, I know.
I'm trying to
I
learn how
can't
to
let
do
you
watch
go.
over
So find someone great, but don't find no one better. I hope you're
Kenapa?
happy. I wish you all the best. Really say you love her, baby, just not like you love me. And think of me fondly when your hands are on her. I hope you're happy, but don't be happy.
There is a big timer. Put the image. Wait, I need to find a wallpaper of Ima.
Now the next question.
It's
Tutup pintu ke tak?
Makful, kawanku.
なんで構ってくれないのいつも携帯ばかり付き合いたての初々しさに戻りたいな泣き出しそうだどうして分かってくれないの朝から晩まで自分の話たまには私の話も少し聞いてくれたっていいじゃんか
Boleh.
Boleh pak?
Boleh ke tidak? Boleh.
Boleh pak?
Kalau tak boleh, boleh.
Ya. Boleh bakal kau. Every day we are learning.
こんなんだったら私たち終わりにしようって切り出したこんな時だけ頭を下げてなんだかバカバカしいなねだったら構ってよあなたが好きなの他じゃ嫌なのあなたじゃなきゃ私ためなの てそっと抱きついたギュッて抱きついた
Is there really for karaoke collab? Or there are
その一言にいつも騙されていた
I hope you guys
次
are
は
ready.
もうないからね信じていいの私も大好き愛しているよこれからも一緒に
Just got a
い
couple
よ
of
い
bodies.
よ
True.
バカ
What the hell is my...
このままずっと離さないから目と目合わせて肩寄せ合ってにっこり笑みがこぼれた私は幸せのベルを鳴らしたありのままのあなたでいてよねありのままの私でいるから時計の針めくること二人の記憶がまた一つ
So
に
yeah,
なっ
guys,
た
for those not in my server, we are going to watch in my server while I'm here.
Jumping up here.
Wait a minute. Wait. Wait.
毎回嫉妬させてばっかでごめんね
Emotional damage.
付き合いたての
How do they
時よ
gonna
りもっ
watch it
と
if we are here in collab?
言いたかったんだだけど素直になれなかった君に嫉妬してたんだこれからは君のことを精一杯包み込むよこんなんだったら私たち終わりにしようって僕に言ったそんな時でも素直になれずあなんだか子供みたいだあの人本当は言いたいんだ君が好きなの他じゃ嫌なの君
Looks
だ
like
け
the
いれ
poem
ば
about
僕
Haruka
はいいの
Murakami.
ってそっと抱きつ
One
い
of the
た
titles is one or something. I can't remember the full title of it.
今までごめんね
It's basically talking.
大好きだよこれからも一緒にいてくれる
One part of the story in
Arigato.
this person's perspective and the other part of the story in this person's perspective.
時計の針をずっと
It was a lot of things to digest, and I think at one point I just got confused. Yes, Christopher, thank you for coming. Good welcome back.
これからも愛していますだからこれからも愛してほしい僕が
The
だ
film is
から
a dance jumps from
物
across
を
the
送る愛の
world
言
and
葉
shutting down
君へ
the
と
plot. Much of the
捧げ
original
る
depth
愛
is
の
also
歌
the charming base at least, yeah. That's the thing when it comes to like films or even to like anime actually, when it's adapted from the manga or like storybook, it's like they have to work around
もっと君に伝えたい
a limited time to tell the full story or bring out the whole context. So it is a
口
feat
だけの男じゃないってことを
to really
証
do
明してみ
that.
せるから
Uh,
君と一緒に
yeah,
星
it
を見
is
たい
kind
な
of sad though. It
夜
is
空
kind
に
of sad
輝く
when
一等星み
it's
たい
like,
な
for
輝き
example,
を
like you read the
叶
story
えたい
from the book and it's so good, and you watch the film and it kind of like
二人で描く
breaks
愛
your
のストーリー
immersion, I guess, or your imagination. But yeah, I do have
こ
those
のまま
times
ず
though.
っと離さないから目と目
Hi,
合わせて肩寄せ合って
Good evening.
にっこり
She's
笑み
Sama
が
CP,
こ
your
ぼれ
voice is
た
so
私
soothing.
は愛の
I'm glad, I'm glad. I kind of like,
ありのま
not
ま
gonna
の
lie,
あなたでいてよね
when I
あ
see
り
the
の
stream,
ままの
before I
あ
start
な
the
たで
stream,
いるから時
today
計
I
の
wanted
針
to
が
be,
くっつくこと二人の記憶
I
が
told
また
myself like, you know,
一
just
つになった
I mean, something I always wanted. I always strive to do it as well. But I don't know. I have a mind. I have like a goal, like a mindset where I just want to like, you know, like make help people to like have a soothing time and like if they felt sleepy after that, then yeah, have a good sleep then. So I'm glad. Is this a Halloween outfit? Yeah, having a witch hat. Yeah. Cause it's Halloween. Gotta be the part of the occasion. Mikoshi, oyasumi. Hi, oyasumi nasai. Fuku.
think of
me,
I could do about anything.
I fully agree with this. I'm glad. I try to like probably I try to aim like maybe do at nights, certain nights that I think something like this. Then of course like certain days actually in the afternoon that you know we'll play something more entertaining and more hyped up. So yeah. Good night. Oyasumi Afa, and thank you so much. And really happy for the good news for your enrollment in the college. And also really happy to hear that your eye is getting better. And Preach for speedy recovery. Preach for speedy recovery for your girlfriend. Yeah. I hope she gets better soon. Yes, me. She. Quiet, don't make him up. Aragari whispers with the balsam flower for a while. The balsam flower was waken up from his dream by us. He is very angry. But if it's for our Homa, then I suppose we can be forgiven. Balsam flower. For our Homa, for multi-Yima's revival. Please, join us. Huh? You understand that? Time on your end. Yeah, keep something good. Great! The balsam flower agreed to adventure with us. Yay, we got the balsam flower. And the balsam flower said, be careful with our hits. What does that mean? Protect our hits and roots or damage will be caused when water comes. Eh? Wait, what is that sound? Okay, the whole thing is crumbling down. Abunaizo. Oh.
I wish that I was in love.
Guess we are gonna get wet.
I wish that the butterflies would come.
You and Paimon together with Aragari are swept by the southern current.
Like I did when I was young.
Senpai? Nani?
I wish that I was in love.
I forgot what I was about to say. Oh no, 다시 되겠다. Thank you so much, Mordecai. Paimon almost got drowned. It's so tempting though, so because the Rella cup is a balsam flower stream. When the balsam flower wakes up, the stream will disperse into air. So the way of the water can be withstood. Water will gush out. Ooh, splash! Cool and refreshing. Let's see if we can still say the same if Paimon was washed away and never found back. Aragari knows where Nara and White Floaty are. Plants can also tell me where you're gone. You'll be found. We have the balsam flower now, so next is to find Sora mushroom and the Yata grass before we can ask Aragara to make our Homa. Yep, I have to go back to Multi-Univa Forest and accompany Nara Tetsuya and Whitey Floaty to search for Aranaki. Aranaki likes to play Nara during Nara and White Floaty must be very careful. There are none of Luca roaming around there. Aranaki calls them sand. You can't trust their words. So bad. Got it. We'll be careful. Next, go to Maritiva Forest 2 to read our Homa ritual. Let's meet there. Relatable feeling, yeah. Those times when you have like things to say, and when you're about to say it, it just goes off your mind, and you be like, got it.
I wish that I was in love. I wish that I was in love. I wish that I was in love.
Hi. Here we go.
I couldn't
Right,
wait
no.
for you to come and clear the cupboard.
Let's see. So today is not gonna be a really long stream. I'm probably gonna stop slightly maybe sometime 12 or like slightly before 12. Yeah, because I'm resting up.
So get away, another way to feel what you do. Yourself to know and let yourself
I got the balance.
you know you do lose yourself.
I should just walk around here to see if there's anything else that I'm missing.
Turn away,
Oh yeah, Christopher. I was wondering like my Oh, high five. For my alcohol quest, I already met Dory already. So after I met Dory, I stopped from there. I think my next step was to actually meet Al High. I just met Nilo and I haven't progressed on that. Oh, I see. Is it the one together with the girl? With the girl, I think. Like, yeah. You're much further away than me. 大丈夫. We got that there, Christopher. Well, at least we still have like a lot of content to enjoy then. In a way. It's gotta be good. Yours and yeah, that part. Yeah, you're slightly behind. Yeah, I really try to get that. I tried my best pulling in an LVP and were you pulling for a skin? Resistance is the key. There it is. I might need to just stream the entire thing, but I have a very good feeling that my chat would draw me in the first 20 minutes. Ganbatte, Christopher, you got this. But yes, it's very great though. Like, at least when you do it on stream as well, then like, you know, get to enjoy it together with chat and like react together as well. I didn't get the skin I want. Oh no! Sponsor me, oh no. I remember when I used to play that game. It's always the skins. Wait, so the MLBB skin is a gacha? It's not those that you can just immediately buy and get. So it's kind of like what do you call it? Like Honkai has the gacha skin as well, but that's a guarantee. That's a gacha, I see. Actually, I just skinned it about the. Oh my gosh, wow. That's a lot. Wait, how many characters are there in total in the game? That's 300 skin is a lot. Wow, but considering the fact that the game has been around for quite a while, I guess it shouldn't be much of a surprise. Honestly, life is a gacha in a way. Even though sometimes some things are like gacha, always persistence. Persistence is key. And hey, one day you'll probably get something better. Or in the end, like get what you wanted as well. I used to just get whatever free skins I got. The reward is guaranteed, and the part I see. 150 heroes in the game. Okay, that explains why there's like 300 over skins. I remember correctly, having this skin gets you a buff in the game. Oh, so it's not just aesthetic. It gives you a buff. Well, wait, won't that like overthrow the game a bit? Like make it imbalanced? Not boss, just +8 attack. Oh, okay, that's alright. Just a bit slightly over. As I'm playing after ages desperately and unsuccessfully mobbing the new characters to avoid the lawsuit by Lee. Like, is it like due to like similar character design or something? In all types of skin. Way too much kept updating the game instead of actually playing on new homes. I guess because like there's a lot of like patches and stuff like that. 하지만 in a way, yeah. It's like, well, I guess in a way it's like putting in like, do you want to spend them on the things that you need versus the things or the things that you want? Yeah. Or like, yeah, or times of like when you decide to save, when you decide to skip. So I guess like, yeah, it's a bit of similarities from there. Everyone gets games in free, so it's like nothing. What game is this we're talking about? MLBB, Mobile Legends. So it's like a 5 versus 5. Something like League or like Doodle. So yeah, so like Manishima-san saying that like the game has like 300 over skills. It has also shown persistence in life, and for games, exactly, yeah. Otherwise, if you prefer everything, yes, persistence, self-control, determination as well. So yeah, you learn a lot from a game. Anyway. Wait, her name is Mino? Wait, this guy's name is Mino. So a little bit. So Mino in Malay is drink. This is interesting. I wonder what it means in another language though. Mobile Legends bang, yeah. You spend money on gacha, you get caught addicted, and it's bad. You spend money on life, it's not addiction, and people want to live double standards, right? Well, I guess it's more of also like, I guess, different perspective, I guess. It's probably like versus like needs at once, and I guess it's also because like different people have different perceptions, and you know how like for example like let's say one person's priority could be another person's least priority kind of thing. So yeah, most importantly is like, yeah, take care of yourself and like manage on the things that you want and what you need as well. Yeah, moderation as well. Moderation is the key in a way. This game I'm trying to get is actually priced like $70 to $80. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get it within $20. Oh my gosh, cringe. Yeah, Mino. Drink. It's a hydrate reminder and one drink. Alright, how dare people? Can she try to get him to drink it? It's a hydrate reminder. I got it wrongly. I don't have 200 skins. I have 297. That's a lot actually still. Only 297. Ook. I'll take it back out package. Right, let me hydrate down. Time to get 3 more correct mistake now. Gura was the one that warned them. Bye, Mino. I still have $1 and I'm trying to recharge that too. I preach that you get to see. Yes, you should be careful. It's probably an Aranara. Huh? Hey, you started me. Oh, he has a little bow. Oh, it's so cute. At the ends of it, it has like pink tinge on it. Look at the time. I need to go. I'll see you next week. Oh, it's fun time to be here. Thank you so much, Christopher. So it's a fun time to have you around as well. And yes, have lots of fun tomorrow. And yes, safe journey on your way there too. Sayonara, enjoy the rest of the stream. Arigato ne. Oyasumi. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end in a bit as well. Actually, I'm gonna try to rest up and like fix my. I say fix my sleeping schedule, but I always end up sleeping after 2 a.m. Come listen to the sanguines. They are lawyers with bad minds who are here for R&R. Sand is Maluka. The sanguines member of bad Nara Maluka. I don't like sand, it's coarse, rough, and irritating. And it gets everywhere. What? Paimon doesn't get it at all. White floating is silly, so white float didn't get it. Oh, hey! Sakibata was pretty good as well. Nara's smart, that's what Arnaki. Arnaki is smart. I talked to them, I listened. I heard that the Nara name is Tetsu, and that your name is Paimon. But bully Paimon is silly, doesn't understand Arnaki. Bully Paimon is like that, it's true. I'm gonna agree with that. And not the sand line again, yeah. Jima made the Quickly. Wait a second. We don't even know where we're going. Solar mushroom. We need solar mushroom. We prepare arahoma. We need arahoma. We have multi-red be like me again. Anyway, solar mushroom is. Thank you then. Right. Hey, difference. What if Paimon is indeed like that? Yes, it's indeed like that. I'm starting to like the new nickname for Paimon, White Floaty. Sounds really cute. I tried Anakin. You can use Kusama to call upon his power and repair so the book can happen. I see. Wait, do I need to equip it? How do I call upon their power? Oh, okay, it's the same thing. For the Paimon managed to drown. I thought the intelligence from the start. I was right to down. Yes, sir. Arigato, Heidi-san. Kabekushu, arigato. Please anonymous. Hi, ganbare. I think after I probably see what else is here. Then yeah, I'll call it a night and stream. Heading out, thanks for stream. Take care, Curry-san. Take care. Oscar on painting the walls. Yes. Looking forward to the possible one day painting simulator stream. Yeah, do take care. And have a wonderful rest of the weekend and long holiday. Well, I said long holiday because it's only Monday's a holiday. Yeah, enjoy. Monday's a holiday. Monday's a public holiday. We get 10 Honkai cards and Honkai login bonus. It's because of the anniversary. The Honkai anniversary is coming up for the next match. What? Wait, what? Curry-san, you didn't know? You didn't know Monday's a holiday? Nobody tells me these things. It's okay. I shall tell you these things from now on. Monday's a public holiday because of Deepavali. So yeah. So that's why like a lot of people has been like traveling around. I think like on Friday night or like Saturday. So do expect the traffic. I thought it was next week. It's this week. Deepavali is this weekend. So you're most likely gonna hear some fireworks around. Never question free stuff, just accept it. Yeah. So like make sure to like claim each day for your login bonus because at the end of the login bonus you get Kiana's development. Oh, I found something out of nowhere. What do you find? Monday is at about 3 start play. Oh no. I guess Monday is finished. Monday is a public holiday. A week Sponsored by Nara Marina, book a purpose out the many moonset. Book a rock seal all the power to Zora mushroom and protected him. Aranaki can repair the rock and make the water leave, so we can find Zora mushroom. Use a Kusama to summon Aranaki power. Aranaki trusts you. Well, Kusanova well.
Are you lonely?
Sama,
Passion is crushing.
Sama.
You seem so lonely.
Hi, Mon. It's not cool, second one.
Though the ground my feet won't reach.
Say
So
hi.
if you're lonely,
That was terrible.
darling, you're glowing. If you're lonely, come be lonely.
I found a picture that
with
decorated in
me.
Last City Valley. Nice memories. As a student, I know all the public holiday. Hey, yes, cherish them with joy. Always cherish public holidays with joy. I also the picture timing there in the flyway in the back. Nice. Yes. Ooh, so that means Mashima-san, you should. I also take a picture for this year. Like for memory, they can look it back as well. This is how you build a multiracial society. Nobody will mind free holidays. Yes, we accept all holidays. Did I accidentally kill that bird? I think I did. Yep, rip,
But I can't
the
help
bird.
myself from feeling bad.
Yeah, I think this is
I
gonna be the
kinda
last
feel
one I'm
like
gonna
two
do.
things can be sad. The world's smallest violin really needs an audience. So if I do not find somebody soon, I'll blow up
Speaking
in
of
the
Hawkeye,
smithereens
it's
and
expected
spill
to
my
get mentioned a bunch of
Chinese
material. I said, oh
symphony.
yeah, that's
Just
what I
let me
heard as
play
well.
my violin
But
for
I don't know
you.
much of the details yet of it. Hopefully it's for the better. Hopefully it's for the better.
My grandpa fought in World War II and he was such a noble dude. Man, I feel like such a fool. I
Hello,
have so much
Genji.
left to prove.
How's it
All my
going?
friends have vaping friends. They're so
I
good
think
at
Sakura
making
shard
friends. I'm
on,
so scared of caving in.
I know Sarah is
Is
working
that
with some alloy,
entertaining?
which doesn't make sense. It's a different purpose
That's so
currently.
insane.
Maybe done.
That's such a shame.
I'm just thinking
Next to
if
them,
like
I
they're
shit
merging
don't feel so
materials, then maybe the
grand.
possibility
But
of
I
like
can't help
items that
myself
require
from
those
feeling
materials
bad. I
just
kinda
require
feel
just
like
one
two things
alloy
can
then?
be sad.
Maybe?
The world's smallest violin.
Why is Paramount level 50 now? I'm mad? Yeah. I'm guessing maybe they want to make the Pride more accessible to everyone. Because getting to Captain level 81 does take a while. I would say it's definitely more easier compared to last time with all the starter events and whatnot. But I'm guessing maybe they lower it to level 50 to get people to continue on the game and also to entice people of the Pride Hub. So maybe. I mean, these are all just like my just assumptions. Finding chess at Leah, gonna try to get like 100% exploration for Leah. Speaking of which, like speaking of Leah, I previously thought that I 100% my castle, but apparently I didn't. I'm like I'm 98% in my castle, so like there's a 2% which I don't know where it is. That I decided to just like hold it off anyway. Sarcasm is like so. It has like many depths. So I think like if I want to go travel that around, it's probably I will do it once I clear a lot of the other stuff and have some free time.
I knew the pathway like the back of my hand.
But with the recent update getting to level 80 super speedy, agree. I would say it is getting really super speedy, but I don't know. I mean, it could be a couple of reasons. Maybe there are players who weren't happy still that it was like level 51. Yeah, I mean it could be a lot of things. I use the compass but I can't find. Oh no! Maybe it's like underground or something. Use or if it helps elemental sight. Elemental sight helps once in a while. Myself a homo chest, don't do this to me. Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! The homo chest. Wait, does that mean I should claim it before they did the update? I hope they return it though. I hope they don't just like expire the materials and doesn't give us a bad replacement. Because I have like a lot of materials that are unopened.
So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need
Oh yeah, I need to burn this. It will auto convert? Yeah, guessing so. It's my penny. Oh, there we go. There it is. So sorry that I'm like coughing a bit here and there. Just like clearing my throat. There you go. Oh, there's more fireworks already. It's like pew pew. Pew 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 pew. I'm stuck in the abyss.
Where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So
Right,
tell
there you
me
go.
when
Wakey wakey.
you're gonna let me in.
Ruined Cruiser, would you like to take me on a cruise, sir?
I need somewhere to begin.
Hear that? Oh my gosh. Hello, Goomba. Our scary sword. Sorry. Yeah, I was doing something I'm just really crying. That took me also off guard. I got scared off. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, I got sorries. Well, I'm glad Lucy brought some entertainment. Oh my gosh. My hands legit flew off the keyboard, legit. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got scared off the god. Oh yes, thank you for the reading. I hope lurkers are okay. I'm so sorry, lurkers, if you suddenly got scared off by me. I'm so sorry. Good thing you can eat your keyboard. I'm glad that I didn't eat my keyboard on my mouse either. I should have used other characters. I was thinking about the break dance. Right, there you go. You got that. Good night, Genji. Thank you so much for popping by. Yes, I hope you have fun. You have fun in Genshin.
Funny girls are unforgettable. Fresh views for kitten and ghost representation. Put your hands up, girl. Come.
Sorry that
Thank you for the 1 year. Oh my god.
Since we're gonna be midnight, I do need to wake up early tomorrow as well. Oh, Goomba. Yes, I'll try to sing a lullaby. It's okay, I need to come earlier, don't worry. Thank you so much. Are you gonna play the Little Song Guys for me? Yes, I am. Maybe I'll play tonight, maybe. But, I'll be able to stream like, I think kind of late. We'll see how it goes, I'm not so sure, yeah? I'll be to congrats for 1 night. I miss it. I could have one shot at it. Hope tomorrow my gacha will be on spot or I spent in Mobile Legends for nothing. Praise. Praise you got. Praise you got the skin. I can't watch, I still have to catch up. Gonna need to grind it up because this chapter looks interesting. Yeah, it is. And I mean, definitely the next patch that is coming up is gonna be like a continuation of that as well, I think. It's like the end of Hawkeye's, right? Maybe. But I feel like the story that is the current one, it's not leading to the end until the Honkai Star Rail currently one. Because if you remember Honkai Star Rail, it shows I think way back before Honkai, when they revealed Honkai Star Rail, we see Carol. So it's definitely in a different timeline. Oh nice, I got a polearm! Hey, that's nice.
I'm sitting here in the boring room. It's just another rainy Sunday.
story, Shin-sama. Hi. Yes. I'll play so that we'll be able to chat and catch up with it. Thanks for Shin Senpai, Rezo, Sigma, and give me updates. I will.
Save that heart for me, 'cause girl, you know that you're my destiny. Swear to the moon, the stars, the suns, and the daughters. Our love is deep, it's been the oceans of water. Save that heart for me, and girl, I'll give you everything you need. Here's to our past lives, our mothers and fathers. Our love is deeper than the oceans of water.
And for those in the chat and for those in the lurkers, I hope you all have an amazing night. Those who are going to sleep, have a good night rest. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the weekend. And again, soon it's going to be Deepavali, so happy Deepavali. Winter Bear, hello! Hello, welcome into the stream. I'm so sorry to say that I'm actually gonna be ending stream. I'm gonna go off to the ring. But yes, welcome in. Thank you so much for popping by. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again next time. I guess probably just a quick info. So I usually stream on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays.
There's some hoes in
So
this house.
yeah,
There's some
but
hoes
tomorrow
in
might
this
be a bit
house.
of a
There's
question
some
mark
hoes
though
in
because
this house.
I'll be like
There's
pretty
some
much out like
hoes
the
in
whole
this
day.
house. There's some
I guess we'll
hoes
see.
in this house. There's some hoes.
Wait, is that Miss Mino's
They say
emote?
it's certified
Hey.
freak. 7 days a week.
It's only 12 a.m.
Wet
so
ass
early.
pussy, make that
I
blow
need to
like
fix up my sleep
game
schedule a bit, but it's also because that tomorrow's gonna be a long day for me, so
Yeah,
I
you
do need to
fucking with
reserve
some wet ass
reserve some
Bring
energy.
a
Because I think
bucket
today when
and
I
a
went
mop for
out,
this
I
wet
think
ass
about like
pussy.
3
Give me
p.m. I was so
everything you
drained out.
got for this wet ass pussy.
Is it for tomorrow or just touch grass for fun? Touch grass for fun. I'm going to continue.
Beat it up, baby, catch a charge. Extra
check out
large
my
and
phone
extra
updates
hard.
and stuff
Put
like
this
that,
pussy
so
right in your face. Swipe your
I'm looking
nose like a
forward
credit
to it.
card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a Kegel waltz inside. Spit in my
Yes, I
mouth,
hope to
look in
see you
my
again,
eyes.
Mr. Bear.
Pussy
I
is
hope you
wet,
have
come
this
take a dive.
amazing
Tie me up like
day,
I'm
night,
surprised.
or
Let's
evening,
roleplay
wherever you're
a
from.
word disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little
Yes, go
garage.
back.
Make
I'll try
it
to
cream,
develop this
make me
story.
scream. Out in public, make a scene.
Yeah.
I don't cook, I don't clean,
Just
but
make
let
that
me
up
tell
to
you how I
me.
got this ring. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down beside of me. Quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me. I tell him where to put it, never tell him where I'm about to be. I run down on him for I have a baby running me. Talk your shit, bite your lip, ask for a call while you
Have a
ride
nice
that dick.
weekend.
You really
BK
ain't never got a
barbecue,
fucking
hey,
for a
let's
thing.
go.
He already
Korean
made his
barbecue
mind up
is
before he
the
came.
best.
Now get your boots and your
It's always
coat
so
for
good.
this wet ass pussy. He bought a phone just for pictures of this wet ass pussy. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet ass pussy. Now make it rain if you wanna see some wet ass pussy. Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Give me everything you got for this wet ass pussy. I'm talking wop, wop, wop on this wet ass pussy.
Check out my son as well to make my call.
Macaroni in a pot, that's some wet ass pussy. Give me everything you got for this wet ass pussy. Hoes in this house, there's some hoes in this house, there's some hoes.
Good night, Shane. Good night, Winter Bear. Thank you. So yes, everyone. Oh yes, I forgot to like copy my own rate banner. Oh no. Right. And we're gonna go off really soon, and I hope to see you all next time. Everyone, remember to take care of yourself, take a break, enjoy the weekend, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the day. Matane! See you again next time. Bye bye.
Give me a day or two to think of something clever, to write myself a letter, to tell me what to do. Do on your way. I knew when I asked you to be cool, but I was telling you, you do the opposite of what you said you do. And I'd end
There we go. That's better. That's a lot better.
Don't say it isn't fair. You clearly weren't aware that you
How's Elden Ground? Elden Ground is going okay so far. I'd say I'm in a little bit of a predicament right now. Mostly being that can I teleport away from her? I can teleport away.
From you, I'm happier than ever. Wish I could explain it better. I wish it wasn't true. You call me again, drunk in your Benz, driving home under the influence. You scare me to death, but I'm wasting my breath, 'cause you only listen to your fucking. I don't relate to you. I don't relate to you, no, 'cause I never treat me this shitty. You made me hate this city. I don't talk shit about you on the internet. Never told anyone anything bad, 'cause that shit's embarrassing. You were my everything. All that you did was made me fucking sad. Don't waste the time I don't have. Don't try to make me feel bad. I could talk about every time that you showed up on time, but I'd have an empty line, 'cause you never did. Never paid any mind to my mother or friends, so I shot them all out for you. I was a kid. You ruined everything good. Always said you were misunderstood. Made all my moments your own. Just fucking leave me alone. She'd take the world on my shoulders if it was ever hard to move. She turned the rain to a rainbow when I was living in the blue. Why then, if she is so perfect, do I still wish that it was you? Perfect don't mean that it's working, so what can I do when you're out of sight in my mind? 'Cause sometimes I look in her eyes, that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine, said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. Tell me he savors your glory. Does he love the way I did? Is this a part of your story? One that I never lived. Maybe one day you feel lonely, and in his eyes you get a glimpse. Maybe you start slipping slowly and find me again. When you're out of sight in my mind, 'cause sometimes I look in her eyes, that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way you was. Said I'm fine, said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. Sometimes I look in her eyes, that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine, said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. I'm telling you, oh yeah, I softly whisper tonight, tonight. You are my angel. 愛してるよ Oh yeah 二人は一つに Tonight Tonight I just to say wherever you are I'll always make you smile. Wherever you are I'm always by your side. Whatever you say 君を思う気持ち I promise you forever right now. Ooh, yeah. I don't need a reason. Oh yeah, just want you, baby. Alright, alright. Day after day この先長いことずっと Oh yeah どうかこんな僕とずっと死ぬまで Stay with me We carry on Wherever you are I'll always make you smile Wherever you are I'm always by your side Whatever you say 君を思う気持ち I promise you forever right now Wherever you are I'll never make you cry Wherever you are I'll never say goodbye Whatever you say 君を思う気持ち I promise you forever right now
僕らが出会った日は二人にとって一番目の記念すべき日だね。そして今日という日は二人にとって二番目の記念すべき日だね。心から愛する人、心から愛しい人、この僕の愛の真ん中にはいつも君がいるから。 Wherever you are, I'll always make you smile. Wherever you are, I'm always by your side. Whatever you say, 君を思う気持ち I promise you forever right now. Wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you It was just two lovers, sitting in the car, listening to Blonde, falling for each other. Thinking orange skies, feeling super childish, no Donna Glover. Missed call from my mother, like where you at tonight, got no alibi. I was all alone with the love all my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden love. Oh, you slow down time in your golden love. We were just two lovers, feet up on the dash, driving nowhere fast, burning through the summer. Radio on blast, make the moment last. She got solar power. Minutes feel like hours. She knew she was the baddest. Can you even imagine falling like I did for the love all my life? She's got a glow on her face, a glorious look in her eyes. My angel of light. I was all alone with the love all my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden love. Oh, you slow down time in your golden love. を唯一満たして去ってゆく君が僕の心に唯一触れられることができた君は Oh baby もういないよもう何もないよ You wish that I could do it again Oh turning back the time back when you were mine all mine So this is our day So this is our day 拾い集めた後悔は涙へと変わり Oh baby So this is our day So this is our day あの日の君の笑顔は思い出に変わる I miss you It's so hard to forget 固く結んだその結び目は It's so hard to forget 強く引けばいくほどに You and all the regrets ほどくなって離れれななった今すらよそれが辛いよすぐ忘れたいよ君を So this is heartache So this is heartache 拾い集めた後悔は涙へと変わり Oh baby So this is heartache So this is heartache あの日の君の笑顔は思い出に変わる I miss you I miss you I miss you I miss you 君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻らなくなって忘れないで何年経っても言えない後悔したって構わないでも言葉ここまで出るのね Summertime 海岸通り歩きたいドライブだってしてみたいただ視線を合わせてほしいのね Summertime
夜明けまで海辺走って潮騒に包まれたいね彼女の仕草が甘いね
君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっと噂の Dreaming が忘れないででも気持ちを伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れる街角占いなんて信じない運命なんてあるわけないただ本当
ちを伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢は覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れる君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっと噂の Dreaming が忘れないででも気持ちを伝えてしまえばいつかこの夢を覚めてしまうだろうな青い影が揺れる街角
A lucky, lucky girl. She got married to a boy like you. She'd kick you out if she ever knew about all the you told me that you do. Dirty, dirty boy. You know everyone is talking on the scene. I hear them whispering about the places that you've been, and now you don't know how to keep your business clean. Mommy don't know daddy's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy. He's sat back, but she's dropping it. She be popping it, yeah, she put it down slowly. Oh, he left his kids at oh, so he can get that. Mommy don't know daddy's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy. Daddy, daddy, if you wanna drop the addy, give me love, give me Fenty, my Balenciaga daddy. You gon' need to back it up, cause I'm spending on Rodeo. You can watch me back it up, I'll be gone in the AM, yeah. He got me Prada, got me Millie like Rihanna. He always call me cause I never cause no drama. And when you want it, baby, I know I got you covered. And when you need it, baby, just jump under the covers. Mommy don't know daddy's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy. He sat back, but she's dropping it. She be popping it, yeah, she put it down slowly. Oh, he left his kids at oh, so he can get that. Mommy don't know daddy's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy.
"でももし生まれ変わったらその時は咲かすからね」「そんな悲しいこと言わないで」「来世ってなんて望まないよ」「意地悪なその笑顔も大事なとこで噛む癖もいつまでもいつまでも変わらないまま遠くに行ってしまうんだね大切に思える人見つかるといいね生命線その途中で でももし生まれ変わったらその時は咲かすからねあの頃と同じようにうまく笑ってほしい ことが曖昧につなぐおたまじゃくしはぐれた思い出を探すよ君じゃないいけなかった喉が渇いて震えた声僕じゃないといけなかったことがちゃんと君にもあったのか言えない今日が明日も待っているなくせないものにほら気づいた起こったことも全部さ宝物になってしまったんだよ言えないこともどうでもいいこともさ全部心の奥に溶けてるんだよことが曖昧につなぐおたまじゃくしはぐれた思い出を探すよ君じゃないといけなかったこと
เชี่ยกูจำได้แล้วแหวนที่กูเห็นน่ะมันใส่นิ้วนางข้างซ้ายนั่นไงวะก็แหวนแต่งงานไงแสดงว่าอีมาก็มีเหมือนกันนี่วะ
あなた
あなたの夢って心安らぐ目覚めたくないと僕は言う思い出ばっか増えてゆく明日もそばにいたいどこまでもどこまでも鈍感な僕を叱ってほしい当たり前が壊れることに気づけないくらいに子供だけどちゃんと僕はあなたを捨てている私の僕の時間が止まればいいのにほらまた来たよ捨てせまぐっとこらえてみるからさもし溢れ出したら瞳をちゃんと見てよ見てよ見てあなたの影だけ伸びてゆく消えてしまわないでずっとこの想いは変わらないいつまでもいつまでも続いてほしいと願っている手を取ることはできずとも過ぎてゆく暇に抱きしめられている私の僕の時間が止まればいいのに今日噛みしめていよ終わるな夏終わるな
ผีอะไรจะเนียนขนาดนี้เล่า
แล้วทำไมต้องกินใบไม้ใบหญ้าด้วยอ่ะ
ไอ้ห่าคนเขาดูแลสุขภาพนี่จะหุ่นดีขนาดนี้เหรอ เดี๋ยวนี้ใครก็กินอาหารออร์แกนิกทั้งนั้นแหละ คุณถึงได้เสีย
窓を開けて小さくつぶやいた How are you 誰もいない部屋で一人もうに朝が来たよ土砂降りの朝がティックタック私のネジを誰か巻いて昔のアニメにそんなのいたっけな How are you 羨ましいなみんなに愛されて Sleepy 他のこと言ってないで支度をしなくちゃ Crying 涙の跡を隠すためもう口癖になった場合か昨日の言葉が頭をよぎるの君には全然期待してないからそれは私だって自分に期待などしてないけれどあれは一体どういうつもりですかもともと負けてかかった言葉口をついたてたのは嘘こうして今日も私は貴重な言葉 一向に進まない支度の途中もらとした頭で思うの理由をつけて休んでしまうかな。いやいや分かってますってなんとなく言ってみただけだよ。分かってるから怒らないで。幸せだろうと幸せだろうと平等に残酷に朝日は昇る。生きてくだけで精一杯の私にこいつにで望むというの。なぜ気にしてしまうのですか。本当は愛されたいのですか。その手を離したのは誰ですか。気がついてますか。人生にタイムカードがあるなら終わりの時間はいつなんで。私が生きた分の給料は誰が払うんですか。サンキューありがとうって言いたいの。サンキューありがとうって言いたいよ。サンキュー一度だけでもいいから心の底からをなくしながらありがとうって言いたいの。なぜ隠してしまうのですか。本当は聞いてほしいのですか。絶対に笑ったりしないから話してみませんか。口を開かなければわからない思ってるだけでは伝わらないなんてめんどくさい生き物でしょ人間というのは。
เดี๋ยวเฮียอะไรอีกเรือจะจมอยู่แล้วเนี่ย
ก็ตอนแรกคุณนึกว่าไอ้หน้าเป็นผีไอ้หน้าเป็นคน แต่เสือกกลายเป็นไอ้หน้าเป็นคนไอ้หน้าเป็นผี และสุดท้ายไอ้หน้าเสือกไม่ใช่ผีเสือกกลายเป็นคน
気分次第です僕は敵を選んで戦う少年叶えたい未来もなくて夢に描かれるのを待ってた。そのくせ未来が怖くて明日を嫌って過去に願ってもうどうしようもなくなってスケボンだ。明日よ明日よもう来ないでよでそんな僕をおいで。月は沈み日夜は昇るけどその夜は違ったんだ。君は僕の手を空へ舞う世界の彼方闇を照らす快晴。君と僕もさまた明日へ向かっていこう。夢で割ってしまうのならば きな君であり続けて秋の空に憧れが汗をかいてにじんでる宝物だよだからこそ怖いよいつか飲み干してからアポになった時君を全部僕に注いでほしいんだその後一番君の好きな場所でキスをしよう僕らの住む世界に悲しみが混ざらないように明るい方に向かって Going 手を離さないで分かり合ってたいよだからもっと愛そう誰かが僕らを素敵だと思うようにミルクティーみたいに二人寄り添って少しの甘さで幸せになれる気がするよどうして君が泣くのまだ僕も泣いていないのに自分より悲しむから辛いのがどっちかわからなくなるよからくただったはずの今日が二人なら宝物になる
Started naming my files when I do them. I'm gonna make them. They probably use all for dating. But someday we're gonna have a dating podcast. This is a big fucking long. Shoot, fucking long, man. Welcome, good morning. Thank you so much for reading me. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you had a nice stream. Halloween party. Halloween party. Love Halloween. You cute as fuck, or look at you, cute as are.
Hello, motherfucker.
Oops.